Bring in Palestinian affairs analyst Osama Nazal, who's joining us live from Jenin in the occupied West Bank. Osama, thank you very much indeed for your time. What impact do you think the events of the last few days will have on potential ceasefire negotiations?
Every time the Israeli occupation Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu hears about negotiations or receives any letter vis-à-vis negotiations, he escalates the aggression against the Palestinians in Gaza and commits more massacres. What was committed yesterday is not only a crime against humanity and a war crime, but it is at the same time the failure of all humanity, as no state, whether in the West or in the East, is taking real action to pressure Israel to stop such genocidal campaigns. So I think that every time the Americans or the mediators, if you like, talk about negotiation, about the necessity of a ceasefire, that would be the response from the Israeli occupation, killing more Palestinians and shredding the bodies of women, children, and worshippers into pieces. So Israel is not interested in a ceasefire now. And regrettably, the Israeli Prime Minister's popularity is increasing in the Israeli society as all of Israel is drifting towards the extremist right that believes only in expelling the Palestinians. And if they refuse to be expelled, then it decides to kill them. And this is what's happening in Gaza today.
We have seen these attacks outside of Israel, Hezbollah and Hamas leaders targeted over the past couple of weeks. While Benjamin Netanyahu's popularity within Israel may be in question, do you think the fact that this has boosted his popularity slightly shows that overall Israeli public are still strongly behind the war?
Yeah. What do you think we can expect from a society that is governed and controlled by Ben Gvir and Smotrich, these two extremist ministers of the Israeli occupation government? One of them is calling for taking the Palestinians out of the occupied land, and the other is calling for starving Gaza to death. I think that a society controlled by such politicians is a righteous society that does not believe in peace with its neighbors, and all that believes in is more killing and more massacres. And on the basis of the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is escalating his genocidal campaign against the Palestinians and his assassination campaign against the Palestinian figures. Were Israel interested in a ceasefire or peace with the Palestinians, it would not have targeted and assassinated the negotiator of the Palestinian people, Ismail Haniyeh, in Tehran. And Israel is getting this, of course, is encouraged by the silence of the Arabs, of the Muslims, and of the Western world. Sorry to say that.
And the ceasefire is desperately needed. The United States appears to be pushing hard for those talks to resume this Thursday. Presidential candidate Kamala Harris has in some way clarified her position on Gaza, saying the time for a ceasefire is now and the time to get the hostages home is now. Are you in any way convinced that a change of leader in the White House will lead to a change of fortunes for the Palestinian people?
I think it would be disastrous to wait for the change of the American administration as the elections in November and Harris takes office in January next year. So you are talking about at least 4 months from now. And by 4 months, Israel would have killed another 40 or 50,000 Palestinians if it kills every day between 200 and 300 Palestinians. By the way, Kamala Harris is giving statements as part of her election campaign because all the military support provided for Israel is being provided while she is in her position in office as vice president, and the American president and the American officials consults with her every step they take towards Israel-Palestine. Were Kamala Harris serious about a ceasefire, she would have convinced Biden, her president, 10 months ago to stop the Israeli aggression and the Israeli genocide. We are not optimistic about the American administration position, whether by Biden or Harris or Trump. And what is required is now and not tomorrow, an Arab-Muslim position. First, they must dismiss the Israeli ambassadors from their capitals, especially when we talk about Egypt, Jordan, United Arab Emirates, and the Arabs who normalized and signed deals with Israel. Without these steps, neither the Americans nor the Europeans are going to take concrete action to pressure Israel to stop its genocidal campaign.
Osama, thank you very much indeed for your time. Osama Nazal there joining us live from Jenin.
Thank you. Thank you.